Good morning once again. Welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought to you. You know, this story of the Chivayo brothers, it's a story that keeps on giving. There's a name that came up. And it made me to look into that name. And when I looked into that name, I discovered more. Like, okay, now we know that this guy is Nathan Chivayo. He also goes by the name Pharaoh. He's living large. You know, these people forget that social media is there. They put the information out there, and then they have this fraudulent life that they are living. So he said on the ID, it says he is 20 years old. Yet he has a video on TikTok that says he is 25 because he wanted to brag about his expensive life, expensive cars, and put it out there. 25 never looked this good. Like, are you even? Please.
25 years. Are we the same? What is it?
And you know, as people are clapping hands for this boy, like cheering for him, like, yay, you are very young and you're living this larger than life kind of lifestyle. This is the kind of life that these people are looking for. This is, it's like a drug to them. This is what led to them to this lifestyle that they are living. So, also, the person that came into light is, we were still looking into this story of the Chivayo brothers, is the biggest fish. The other brother, their elder brother, WICKNELL Chivayo. He calls himself, WICKNELL Chivayo. And when I looked into this guy, I discovered so many stories about him. He's out there in the news outlets, various platforms. He is there. It is said that he is the biggest guy when it comes to fraud and whatnot amongst the three brothers, and he is politically connected. He's living large, expensive clothes, expensive everything. You can tell that his lifestyle is happening, and it is also said that he is politically connected, which is why these people are never arrested, really arrested. Because if you arrest these people, you just have to bring down the whole thing from the president down to the guy who's watching cars on the road. The whole thing flushed into the drain. So you see him there standing with the president of Zimbabwe and also the president of ZANU-PF, MNANGAGWA. Politicians will disappoint you. These people are not for us. They are so not for us. Also, WICKNELL is also implicated. Also, ZANU-PF is also implicated. Let me say this. Also, ZANU-PF is implicated in that JAZEERA documentary about gold mafia. Zimbabweans are not fighting enough. They just need to go home and fight. Hey, leave from wherever you are and go home and outnumber the people that are there. The power is with the people. I'm telling you, if people run away from their country like this, leaving a few people to be there, people who cannot really fight for anything, it's going to be like this for the longest time. Anyway, I would like us to look into something else as well. There's something that I discovered because I was looking into the story of Zimbabwe and the parliamentary blackout, and suddenly again this guy comes up again. I was like, I was not even looking for you. Why are you here? But then again, I read the story. Firstly, I would like us to watch what happened in Parliament. Then I'll be back with a commentary on this story and read the people's comments on the issue. And this one was commenting on the post that was talking about that blackout in parliament in Zimbabwe. She commented and said, this fraudster, WICKNELL Chivayo, was given millions to build a solar farm. He bought shoes and cars with the money. And if you see the shoes, just look at that. You know, and knowing how extravagant the people who live such a lifestyle can go. These shoes, I can bet my last cent on it, they are very expensive. Imagine, if you have founded something and you are a rich guy because of your hard work, there is no problem. But when you do it at the expense of the citizens, my goodness. Okay, this one also posted and said, if you have 10 pairs of shoes and you think it's a lot, just look at the shoes that belong to one man from Zimbabwe who is highly politically connected, Sir WICKNELL Chivayo. Anyways, they call themselves businessmen when the average citizens are suffering. I am telling you. So with this kind of people, that is why when they are connected to politicians, that is why the politicians try to stay in power by all means necessary. Because if power changes hands, these people will suffer. And then also one interesting story that I've discovered since I've decided, you know what, I'm going to look for this guy somehow. The story came up that a South African company was involved in some scandalous tender in Zimbabwe, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, let me look into this because I saw his photo. I was like, this is how our names get messed up in things that we don't have, we're not supposed to be dragged into. Then the article said, leaked documents suggest the printing firm Ren-Form inflated the price of ballot papers, biometric voter registration kits, and portable toilets, while its politically connected partner WICKNELL Chivayo made payments to Mr. officials. In one instance, Ren-Form invoiced the ZEC 23 million rand for a server that normally costs just 90,000 rand. Sir WICKNELL Chivayo dubs himself Sir WICKNELL on social media, frequently posting pictures of himself with President MNANGAGWA or posing in front of large piles of cash while he has 9 businesses in South Africa and had a brush with the law in 2011. Chivayo has largely flown under the radar in South Africa. He flown under the radar until... Anyway, let us continue reading. In Zimbabwe, however, he is notorious for his past conviction for money laundering and his fleet of luxury cars, some of which he donates to ZANU-PF supporting musicians. Guys, you know, such individuals are a drawback to this continent of ours. And how many people do we have who are doing this kind of a thing? And the article continues to say, Chivayo acted as an agent for Ren-Form, a family-owned commercial printing company based in Selby, Central Johannesburg. In a tender with the ZEC, Ren-Form branched out from just providing ballot papers into acting as a one-stop shop, providing electronic equipment, HIVs, vests, and gadgets to display voting results. Chivayo's former business partner Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu, partners rather, who felt cut out of the deal, accused Ren-Form and Chivayo of inflating costs by up to 235%. Guys, this is crazy. The election body paid the South African printing company at least 570 million rand. You know, now we are entangled in this mess. The lines are blurred. You get, we don't know what is South African, we don't know what is Zimbabweans. These are the Zimbabweans with the South African company. It's messed up. And then the article continues to say, the New Hawks, the Zimbabweans media outlet which broke the story, claims that the total paid to Ren-Form could be up to 1.8 billion rand, $100 million. Chimombe and Bofu's claim is partly supported by leaked documents which show Ren-Form invoiced the ZEC 23 million rand for a central server that costs 90,000 rand online, and 2,000 non-flushing toilets priced at 68,700 rand each, which retail for about 10,000 rand per unit. Guys, you leeches, parasites. Ren-Form also provided the ZEC with biometric voter registration kits in the original code. Ren-Form quoted $5,000 per kit, yet the BVR kits tripled in price to nearly $16,000 by the time of the final invoice. Just a few weeks later, similar BVR kits Similar BVR keys cost $3,600 per unit when bought by the United Nations Development Program for the 2021 elections in Honduras. Sorry. The quality and price of the individual component, such as fingerprint scanner in a particular BVR suitcase, can change. Someone familiar with the specific ZEC tender claimed that the hardware did not change in this case, but could not rule out software cost changing between Ren-Form's first code to the final invoice amount. We asked Ren-Form to explain. The company's sales director, Jean-Pierre Dussart, called all the allegation false and said, in any project there's changes. When asked the reason for the price increases, while Ren-Form did not dispute the authenticity of the invoices and other financial records, Chivayo says the leaked documents are fake. My guy, WICKNELL Chivayo, living large. You see, there's one thing about money that you've earned the hard way. It never allows you to splash it in the public's eye like that. It never allows you to do the things that other people are doing like this one, because you have sweat for that money. Easy money does this. You'll be taking photos in front of piles of cash and all that because it was easy money. So this guy also was implicated in that Al Jazeera Gold Mafia documentary, as well as this famous charismatic church, what's his name? Uebert Angel. So you see, these pastors, they send us to wait for miracle money while they collect the little that we have. They send us to wait for miracle money while they also commit crime to get more money. But us, we must wait for miracle money. That is why I'm against going to church every day, because that's where they keep your mind locked into one thing, like zombies. You go home, you go to church. You go home, you go to church. You need to take a break from church so that you are able to see things from a different perspective. It is good to go to church. It is good to serve God. It is good. I go to church. I used to go to church. Let me put it that way. Some things have put me off, this thing of fearing pastors. Hey, pastor, here comes pastor. This is an everyday church. Where you come here? No, please. There's another life. So what I'm saying is you need to take a break from church, because they want to keep you there so they can control your mind for the longest time while they milk you like parasites.
Our church is buildings, our church is hearts. The same Bible says, I don't dwell in houses that are built by men. I dwell in a house that I built for myself. Therefore, your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost. Now, if your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, what the hell are you doing for in church? You're already in church. And Corona has actually brought this whole to light, that you don't need a building to find God. God is here. I'm in church right now, right here with myself. Therefore, so ecclesiology begins to talk about human structures that are trying to gather people together. That's where trouble begins. Because once people gather together, there are bills to pay. There's electricity to pay. There's water to pay. There's fundraising to be done. There are other issues to be done. Now people are going to cooking theology to maintain a building. Cooking theology to maintain white structures. Is this divine? Is this biblical? Do we find any church that was built in the Bible? Or we only find a sanctuary and a temple which people would come and attend once every 3 years? And when they're coming to these churches, that's when they brought their tithe once every 3 years. And if you cannot come, please take your tithe and eat it with your neighbors. That's what the Bible teaches. But now I find this every weekend. You do believe in Jesus? Yes. Don't believe in Jesus? Yes. Raise up your hand. And after you put your hand down, please can we have some money? Has the gospel now become a marketplace where pastors are selling hope, selling us cities that are in the sky? Are we in a hurry to go to heaven? Are we in a hurry to go to heaven? Because we failed to live on earth. You want to walk on the streets of gold when you get to heaven. You have ever held a bar of gold in your hands while you're on earth? You want to go and look after God's heaven when you cannot look after your own earth here? So the whole issue of theology becomes pastors are now selling for us a home in the sky. I have a question for you. If God wanted us in heaven, then why did he create us on earth? Why are we here? Now all of a sudden we're here discussing how and what are we going to do after we die. Who cares about what we die? Let's stop talking about the dead. Let's talk about the living. How do we live? What is the divine principle? What is the human principle? Many churches have become human institutions rather than divine connecting centers. We go to church to maintain buildings, not to maintain our own souls.
Brothers and sisters, it takes plans.
Il faut un plan.
Now, you see, I used to sell things in my company and stuff like that. And the president made me a salesman. You know, my duty is an ambassador, but my focus is mainly selling. And my product is my country.
Je suis ambassadeur d'un pays. Mon rôle, c'est de vendre. Mais qu'est-ce que je vends? C'est mon pays
I
que
no
je
longer
vends.
sell small stuff, no. I'm selling the country.
Je ne vends pas de petites choses. Je vends un pays.
If you see me negotiating for deals for my country, you would think, my God, this guy is shrewd. I'm a dealer. If a fly on the wall listens to the things I say when I'm dealing with you, say, you are Mafia.
Si quelqu'un venait à écouter ce que je dis, lorsqu'il pour mon pays, quelqu'un pourrait se dire je suis Mafia.
Yeah. These are realities. Because I'm a salesman for my country. There is a big difference in being diplomatic. You say, okay, so what do you want to do? Even if you want another mineral that I've never seen myself, no one has seen in my country or any other thing, I'll tell you it's in there. We will mine it together, my brother. We will find it.
Même si quelqu'un me dit qu'il y a des mines, on va les chercher, on va les trouver ensemble.
You have no proof it's not there. I have no proof it's not there. Let's search it. It's right somewhere there. Someone asked me, so when you're negotiating, what do you do? I said, I don't negotiate. I'm a business person, pure when I'm negotiating for my country. So what do you want? I want to buy 20,000 kilograms of gold. I say, it's there. I'm not lying to you. It's under the ground. We'll mine it together.
Just this week, Al Jazeera have done a documentary on him. He is in a fraudulent business for his country where they have siphoned the money of their country. He's on Al Jazeera, he's on news. So he was stealing the money of his country and calling it miracle money. Now they have caught him. I'm not joking. Go and watch Al Jazeera. I won't give you details. Go and watch. It's not from my pulpit. I'll give you that card. Go and watch Al Jazeera. He's there. Let him go and climb pulpit again. Any man of God has a miracle man. Thief. Ole. Barawo. Ini bibio. Ino raised to power 5. Ino no. Utoto. Utoto. What?
Say WICKNELL, out of your 3 Rolls Royces, the EP
There are 4. There's a brand new Spectre. It's coming in February.
Spectre is, but it apa chapo chapo you don't see. You not high akumana ike. Do chive.
Look, they're all Rolls Royce. They're all V12. Very fast, comfortable. But the Phantom is on another level. Ukafamba na Samora, ukafamba na Borodo Road. Akanza nenga chibudisa musoro nepama window vachiwave vachiblowa magisi. So you just feel a certain type of special way. Kana uri Phantom. Cullinan is okay, but it's not as Phantom inopedza ma-sports.
So but I mean, Phantom wins.
Yeah, Phantom wins. But I had the same confusion before I bought the cars. That's why I bought all 3. Because I was confused.
Thank you. You drive off the Phantom, eh? Drive off the Phantom on top G. There you go. Drive off the Phantom. Hey, look at how long it is.
And after that documentary by Al Jazeera, Chivayo released a statement. He said, according to this article, the millionaire said the documentary is not balanced but titled in favor of the opposition who solicited for the impositioning of illegal sanctions over 2 decades ago. Below is Chivayo's full statement. The rubbish Al Jazeera documentary. That's Chivayo now. Over the past week, there has been some unnecessary public euphoria on the so-called expose by Al Jazeera on cross-border trading of Zimbabwean gold with the international market. I have watched the documentary at least twice. After assuming that I might have missed certain basic media practice, research principles, and journalism ethics which must be observed in the creation of documentaries of this nature, I could not help but observe the following. A. Information source and its credibility. Throughout the sensationalized documentary and its constant reliance on unsubstantiated and alarmist comments by a senior politician from opposition party. Without an ounce of evidence, the same politician who was part of a cabal that solicited for the imposition of illegal sanctions on Zimbabwe over 2 decades ago alleges that about $1 billion is being smuggled out of Zimbabwe through what he terms a gold mafia. These unsubstantiated claims are obviously bizarre considering the quantities that would have to be involved to meet the alleged value of $1 billion to be smuggled. What whoever raises the most suspicion is that Al Jazeera conveniently avoided interviewing government officials at the Ministry of Finance, RBZ, ZIMBABWE, or any senior politician from the ruling party ZANU-PF. The documentary is therefore not balanced, but rather titled in favor of the opposition. B. Timing of the documentary. Al Jazeera alleges in the documentary that the so-called gold mafia has always been plying its raid in the country since the days of former President Mugabe, may his soul rest in peace. What boggles the mind, however, is that Al Jazeera only saw it fit to publish the deceptive documentary around four months before the much-awaited 2023 harmonized elections in Zimbabwe. Can this be the mere coincidence, especially considering the prominent role played by opposition figures in the documentary? Very unlikely. If you ask me, the documentary is just a ruse and ploy by opposition handlers to discredit the Second Republic as ably led by His Excellency President MNANGAGWA. No amount of campaigning through international media houses can discredit the massive development that the ruling party has achieved under the Second Republic. C. Substance of the documentary. Apart from making sensational allegations of corruption and smuggling, the documentary carries no substance at all. It admits on one hand that all gold is declared to Fidelity refineries, yet on the other it claims that there is no process to monitor outflows of the yellow metal. It further confirms that all gold is declared to and approved for exports by the RBZ, and even produce what they understand as certificates from the central bank, but claim that the gold is smuggled out of the country. The inconsistency simply goes to show you the desperate attempts by opposition benefactors to de-campaign efforts by ZANU-PF to develop Zimbabwe through transparent exploitation of its natural resources. The documentary conveniently ignores the fact that Zimbabwe is now nearing $12 billion mining industry by virtue of the gold exports through government export earnings from gold trade have funded unprecedented infrastructure development in the country, such as road rehabilitation, dam construction, devolution programs, etc. Vanu. Oh, no, I can't read that. And then it says, please. D. Attack on the ambassador at large. The criticism of the ambassador at large is that is from a position of pure ignorance without taking away the position as clarified in the ambassador's statement. People must know that where billion-dollar deals are being negotiated, quick and authoritative decisions must be made. Oh, I can't read that. But I'll read. 1,000 US dollars. How can you understand the language used in big money transactions? We say and over promise anything and everything when interacting with billionaires. On E he comes with some my sweet eyes. I wish I could read that language, yes, but I'm gonna try. Anyhow, I have personally never been involved or interested in gold buying or trading. Handies of your gold tea. Your gold kaita say. I'm going to try, Sana. The only gold I know is on my 100,000 US dollar Rolex watch. But for a big media house such as Al Jazeera to attempt scoring political goals on behalf of a dying opposition political outfit is low and embarrassing. To make matters worse, the documentary creates an illusion that wase afamba ne Emirates, especially case 714 to Dubai anange akatakura gold totiya here kukwira Emirates because the court of public opinion will think we are gold mafia or maranas emashefu. My advice, especially to the youth, is that your future is much safer in the hands of His Excellency President MNANGAGWA. ZANU PF is leaving no one and no place behind by putting all mineral export proceeds to develop our beloved Zimbabwe. Once commerce and trade in agriculture, mining, etc. is supported at government level, and we benefit as a country. Let us fully support our government as it endeavors to create a middle income economy by 2030. So I've struggled to read that simply because the words are very, very small. I've struggled. I think you have noticed that I've struggled to read that. And what I've noticed most importantly, people like this like saying youth this, youth that, and try to gaslight the citizens, or like, why are you doing that? Because we are not stupid. We can see things. Anyway, why am I up in the business of Zimbabwe like that? Is because our name is in it. Firstly, it proves that they are not clean. The business that they are running is not clean, for the fact that they have their brother in South Africa being arrested with gold in the house waiting for a buyer. That is one. Number two, the brother is using fraudulent identity, pretending to be South African. False age is saying he's 20 when he's 25. So all those are show that something is wrong somewhere. Anyway, guys, I tried to do this. Man. It took a lot for me to put this together. It really did take a lot from me to put it together. I hope you appreciate it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching my videos. If by any chance you watched up to here, I really appreciate you. Please, I really do, because those are many minutes of a video. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. Do have a lovely weekend.